Okay, you're welcome. This is Darko Labs, and today we are looking at lambda functions, guys. And with lambda functions, all that we are going to look at is we are going to look at how we can use lambda functions to create small anonymous functions whereby we just use the keyword lambda. Okay, and for us to be able to use this, let me just make a simple case here. So I'll create my notebook saying lambda. Okay, lambda.ipymb. Okay, and then I press on the enter key. Now once I have my lambda.ipymb, this is my notebook. Now all that I need to do is to select my kernel. So I'll come here, I'll select my kernel. Now once my kernel is selected, now let's look at how we can work with lambda. Okay, so I'm saying that lambda, okay, lambda functions. Okay, so today we are looking at lambda functions. And I'm saying that lambda functions they are small anonymous functions, okay, defined using the keyword lambda. Okay, so they are small anonymous functions defined using the keyword what? Lambda. Okay, and they can have my mic. Can you guys hear me? Okay, so and they can have any number arguments, but only one expression. Okay, so what we are saying here is that for lambda functions, they are small. Let me use this capital. So we are saying that for lambda functions, they are small anonymous functions defined using the keyword lambda. Okay, let's like and share for more people to join us. Let's like the live and let's share for more people to join us. Let's like the live and share for more people to join us. Okay, thank you guys. All right, so we are saying that they are small anonymous functions defined using the keyword lambda. They can have any number arguments, but only one expression. Okay, only one expression. Lambda functions are easy to understand. It's a very simple function I'm going to teach you guys today, and we are done. So they are small anonymous functions defined using the keyword lambda. Because today is Sunday, so I don't want to bombard you guys your mind. Maybe you have some weddings to go, you have some places to go. They can have any number arguments. I think I repeated a number, right? So they can have any number arguments, okay, but only one expression. So let's look at an example. Let's go to code. Now, let's look at the syntax, okay? As I always teach you guys, we always look at the syntax first before we can even do any example, okay? Now, let's look at, so we are saying that they are represented with what? Keyword. So the keyword is what? Lambda. Lambda. This is the keyword. So lambda and then the argument, okay? After the argument, then just one expression like this. We are done. So this is the syntax for lambda, okay? They are small anonymous functions defined using the keyword lambda. So this is the keyword. They can have any number arguments. This is the argument, but only one expression. This is the expression. We are done. Okay. So now this is what we are going to do. Let's look at an example. Okay. Let's look at an example. Looking at this so let's say we have our function def addition, and let's say we are passing two parameters a comma b. Right. So now we are saying that this function, addition function a comma b, two parameters, we will pass two parameters. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going to return a plus b. Okay, so let's return a plus b. Now if I call this function, okay, if I call this function addition, and I say 2 comma, let's say 3, okay, now let's run this. Okay, now if I call this function addition, now we know this already, right? So this is what we learned yesterday, whereby we can define our function and return a function, and we can then call it using, depend on the parameters, or we pass through the arguments we are trying to make. Okay, and now this is what we know here from yesterday, isn't it? But let's look at how we can use lambda functions to still solve this problem. Okay, and we are saying that for lambda functions, we bring the lambda, the argument, and the expression. So let's see how it is being done. So now all that I need to do is the lambda, right? The lambda, right? The lambda, and then what is the argument? What is the argument? This is the argument. What is the argument? AB. You see the argument? So the argument simply means that within the function, you know, the open and close bracket, we pass parameters. And inside the parameters, now once you pass these parameters A, B, inside this function, those becomes your arguments. So take note of this. This is how it is done. The A and B we are seeing here, okay, is our parameters. And once we pass these parameters inside this function, okay, then it becomes an argument. All right, guys, take note. So now this is our argument. We are saying that for lambda function, we bring the keyword lambda, then we bring the argument. So which is our argument? The AB, which is our parameters. That is our argument. So I'll come here and say A comma B. You see? And now, what is the next thing? The colon. So I'll bring my colon like this. And what is the next thing? The expression. So what is the expression? Is it not return A plus B? But because we are using lambda, we are not going to use return. So all that we will use is what? The AB. Okay? So A plus B. We are done. You see how simple we have created a function using lambda without we necessarily doing something like this. You see? And now, because the function, our logic is we want to add, you can just add a variable to it, assign a variable to the entire lambda function. Sorry. And then say addition is equal to what? Lambda comma A comma B equal A plus B. And then what the result will be stored in this addition. So let's run this. You see? Now let's print. Let's print. So let's run again. Oh, sorry. Addition. Oh, okay. So function main lambda type. Okay. Okay, I need to print it well. I need to call it. Sorry. So print, and then let's say it's addition, right? So the variable is addition, and then what are we calling? So let's say 5 comma, let's say 6. Okay. Now let's run. So you see we are having 11. You see? So it's basically the same thing. You see how this one we change it using lambda, and lambda, the keyword comes, and then what? The argument, and then what? The expression, and that's it. The keyword, the argument, the expression. The expression is where you do your calculation stuff and all that. And now you could see that for print addition, we are calling the function. So we said lambda 2 is a function. Let's see the reason why we are saying lambda is a function. So let's say type. So let's look at the type of the addition. You will see that it will tell you it's a function. Okay. So type of the addition. Okay, let me run. So type of addition. Now it's supposed to give me. Let me first clear this one. Okay, let's run. Good. So you see, it's telling us it's a function. So lambda. Okay. So it's telling us that this, because of the keyword lambda we use here, it means this addition here is a function. You get a logic? So we are saying that lambda is what? An anonymous function defined using the keyword lambda, they can have any number arguments, but only one expression. And I'm saying that the syntax is the lambda, which is the keyword. Then we bring the argument. The argument is what you pass through your function. This one, what the parameters you are going to pass through your function. So looking at the problem you want to solve, you'll be able to know the parameters you are going to pass, which is basically the variable names. Okay, so that's why we have A and B. And now we are able to define our simple addition function here like this, and we call it and we had 5. But we are saying that with all these things that you did here, you could also use what we call lambda to solve the same problem. And now you see when I check the type of the addition, it's a function. And now I can just bring this one here, and then we can calculate or call our function, which is 11. Okay, so 5 plus 6 is what? It's 11. All right. Now, let's look at another example. Someone asked a question. Okay, Clayton, when do you typically use lambda functions? We basically use lambda functions when we want to do some anonymous, like want to have some small anonymous function. So if let's say what you are trying to solve, you could have some little functions in your program, then you can use lambda functions to work with it. Okay, and it's as simple as that. Sometimes there are certain codes you can quickly use lambda to work with it without you having to write so many line of code. Okay, all right, but it's not always you can use that. Most of the time you create your own functions, you build your own functions like this, like how I taught you yesterday. Okay, all right, now let's look at another example. Let's say we want to say def. Let's say we have the normal function, we know def even numbers. Okay, then our parameter is the number, then like this, then we say if the number modulo 2 is equal to 0, which basically means we are looking for even numbers, right? Then what do we do? Sorry, I didn't bring my column. Then what do we do? Then we return what? We return true, okay, which is boolean. So if the number modulo 2 is equal to 0, it means we are looking for even numbers, so we return true, return the number. All right, so now let's call the function. So we will say even. So what should we pass? Yes, in the comment section, what should we pass? What number should we pass in the function? So we can call it. What number should we pass? So yes, anyone typing in the comment section for me? What number should I pass? So we are looking at the normal one we know here, which we use. Okay, so I should pass 24. The normal one we know, which we usually use to define our functions. Okay, then later we look at how we can use lambda to also solve this same thing. Okay, so it's true. Good. So it means that 24 will have no remainder. So once the 24 modulo 2 is equal to 0, then it's true. We get it. All right. Now, let's say we pass 31. We will get false, right? So let's say we pass 31. So we don't get anything because we didn't set else return false. So if you say else return false, then it will return false for us, right? This is just a simple program we are trying to run. Okay. Now, let's look at how we can also use lambda to solve this long lines. We can just use one line to solve it. Okay, by saying that okay, lambda. Okay, what is our argument? Num. Now you know the argument num, right? Okay, our argument is num. Colon. Please type in the comment section for me. What is our expression? Now you know the format. We are saying that the keyword lambda, I didn't mean the B, lambda, and then the argument num. Now what will be our expression? Yes, in the comment section for me, please. What will be our expression? We are solving this. You know, we are using the same function, but this time around we are using lambda. With this same function, we want to use lambda to also solve this. So I'm saying that lambda num. So the if statement, okay, so yes, so that's correct, the if statement. So I'm just going to type in here, but I'll not bring the if, remember that. So I'm just going to type in number modulo 2 is equal to 0. You see? So I'm just going to put here the expression, which is num modulo 2 is equal to what? 0. You see? And that is it, right? So basically what we are doing here, we are saying that lambda, the argument is num, and then the expression, this one, okay, and that's it. And all that I need to do is assign the entire lambda function to a variable. So let's say even. even numbers. Okay, it's assigned to this. See how it's done? It's very simple. Now once I run this, I can call my function. So I can call the even one like this. And then inside I can pass any argument, let's say 12. So now once I run this, I should get true. You see? You see how it works? You see how it works? So with the help of Lambda, I can still do with just one line, define my function, and I'm done. You see, with the help of Lambda, I can just define my function on one line without me necessarily have to be doing this, bringing an if, blah, blah, blah. So it's not always the code or the programs. You see people saying if, blah, 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 return. No. Sometimes they will use Lambda and they are good to go. So take note of that, okay? Yeah. So the same thing, like we can have, let's look at another one, another last example. We can have, let's say, definition addition again. Let's say we are passing multiple arguments. So let's say x comma y comma z. Okay. And now within this argument, let's say we want to return what? X comma y comma z. Okay. Now we are returning x comma y comma z. Now all that we need to do is, now let's call our function. So addition, inside the addition, what do we pass? Let's say we pass 12 comma 13 comma 14. Okay, so now this is one function that we have done, isn't it? Now we are saying that, now we are only saying that now with this same function we can use lambda. So when we come here, okay, we can still use lambda. So I will say lambda, okay, lambda, and then what was my argument? X comma y comma z, right? And then colon, what was the expression? The expression is, I could bring my expression, let's say, sorry, I didn't do this word here. So it's x plus y plus z. That's my return. So I can get a calculation, 39. Good. Now the same thing here, I'm using lambda to still solve this particular problem. Okay? And then here, my expression will be what? Let's assign it to something. So let's say, let me do it this way. Let's say z. Okay, I already brought the c. So x plus y plus z. Okay. So you see the lambda. So the keyword lambda, the arguments. This is our arguments x, y, z, and then colon. Then we bring the expression. Okay. So we are doing addition. You can do multiplication, division, anything, right? And now all that we need to do is what? Assign it to a variable. So let's say we are assigning to addition variable. So addition 1, because we already have addition, that's why I'm making it 1. Okay. So now when I run this, I can call this function, say addition 1 into bracket. Let's pass the same thing, 12 comma 13 comma 14. Okay. We still get this same 39. So you see, so you can either use this, okay, or use this. But I want you guys to understand that lambda function is also very powerful, and it's mostly used when you want to have anonymous or small kind of functions to define, and then you are good to go. Okay, so take note of that. It's very important. You guys know it. It's very important. So it's very important. Take note of that. And we'll be looking at some more lambda functions, like, so tomorrow like this, we are going to look at more lambda functions like map functions. Okay, we are going to look at map functions, and then we are going to look at filter functions. Okay, these are more functions we are going to look at in lambda. Okay, we are going to look at map functions, we are going to look at filter functions, and this is very important. And today is Sunday. I don't want to bombard you guys. I want to take you through my website, what I'm trying to build, and also what we are trying to build out there, so you guys are well dedicated on, and also you know what is coming with this particular AI bootcamp, so you guys are well informed that we are not just playing, but we are building something massive. Okay, all right, so watch out. Tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Toronto time, we'll be looking at map functions and then filter functions. Okay, then we are done with functions. All right, We look at map functions and filter functions, and we are done with functions. All right. So today we look at lambda functions, and this is what we were able to build. I just want to have a clear idea of lambda functions, and let me see you in the next session.